Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Well, ag groups across the country continue to react to President Trump's announced plans for the reciprocal tariffs on most foreign trading partners. The decision coming from our nation's leader has the American Farm Bureau Federation concerned, with an AFBF press release saying that tariffs will take a toll on American farmers, as tariffs could drive up the cost of critical supplies. Dave Salmonson, Senior Director of Government Affairs at AFBF, says the main concern for U.S. farmers and ranchers is that the trading partners could retaliate with increased tariffs on American commodities.
The U.S. has already put 20% additional tariffs this year on China. They have retaliated by increasing their tariffs on several U.S. ag products. And several other countries, maybe they will retaliate by increasing tariffs on U.S. exports, including agriculture.
Now, AFBF President Zippy Duvall also pointed out that more than 20% of farm income comes from exports, and farmers rely on those imports for crucial supplies like fertilizer and specialized tools. One commodity group, though, cautiously supporting the move was NCBA. Ethan Lane, Senior Vice President of Government Affairs, that is, at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, says using tariffs as a tool to prompt some negotiations and rectify some non-tariff barriers is something that could be beneficial for cattle producers. However, NCBA vows to be at the table to make sure tariff decisions are the best ones possible.
That being said, we want to make sure we're really careful with how we proceed here, and NCBA is going to make sure we are really taking our job seriously of informing the president and his team about problems here, the challenges, make sure they have good statistics and good information to work from in making these decisions and pursuing these negotiations to ensure that the end result of this is a better deal for cattle producers without damaging the good relationships we have now, and we have many. So we want to make sure we're managing that dynamic, and the best way to do that is to lean into this, support the president, and give him the information he needs to make this effort successful.
And you may know a blanket 10% tariff was applied to all imported goods, with countries charging the U.S. more than 21% tariffs. Well, they're going to see the U.S. impose tariffs at half that foreign country's percentage. Sticking with news from the nation's capital, USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins is calling on Congress to get a farm bill passed. Rollins said that farmers and ranchers need a new five-year farm bill in 2025, and that it's a very big priority of hers. Of course, the farm bill part of the farm bill, or the farm part of the farm bill, that is only 15 to 18%, and 60 votes are required to get it through Senate, meaning that it will need all the Republicans and roughly 10 to 13 Democrats to get that passed. That current farm bill, as you may know, is set to expire in September. Well, we need to take a break, but we're going to see how the tariffs played onto the cattle and livestock markets and the other ag markets right after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Aggressive weakness in financial markets and stock prices led to widespread market pressure, with strong losses seen in the cattle futures. For the feeder cattle futures, they actually led the complex lower on Thursday, with traders quickly focusing on the overall lack of uncertainty surrounding the overall long-term demand, given the aggressive price pressure in that financial market and the implications that tariffs may have in the months to come. Now, these prices could give packers an opportunity today to demand lower prices on those cash cattle sales, as they're also going to be supported in that trek with the lower box beef values on their side. For the local auction markets, cull cows continue to ward off the market pressure and hold higher prices, while young replacement cattle, well, they've also been able to stay above the steady lately. And similarly, sheep have been selling on steady trends lately for the averages, while top dollars did pull back a little bit in a week-over-week comparison. Also seeing a small pullback have been the coal ewes recently, with only the good and high-dressing ewes at Sioux Falls this week topping out over that $1 per pound price. For the wheat futures, well, they did recover from the initial tariff shock on Wednesday evening and found additional support enlarged by that break in the U.S. dollar index, which traded to its lowest level since early October. Hard red winter wheat prices also found some support in the drought monitor this week, which reversed last week's course by reverting abnormally dry areas back to moderate drought. And all that total, 37% of the winter wheat areas in the U.S. are now rated in some form of drought as of April 1st. With an additional 19% still rated as abnormally dry. Well, that's going to do it for our ag markets and Ag TV here on Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.